back a few weeks ago, and I told her, I said, what we need to do this fall sometime, have a media day and invite all the printed media as well as the TV, and especially we wanted to include the periodics, the magazines that are published that are circulated in Alabama, and we've had an excellent response from all those, and we certainly welcome the Alabama Farmers Co-op folks here today. We talked about all good. I think y'all have 85,000 publications in Florida and the Panhandle of Florida, and we've been in contact with all the periodics. The Roughing It Smoothly, Allegro, they're going to come and do a special story on this. Also, the Alabama Farmers Federation neighbors, they're going to come at a separate time and do a story. So we're very excited about this project. Mayor Crouch came to me probably 5-6 years ago, and with this idea, and he said, "What do you think?" And immediately I started thinking, you know, abandoned railroad track, beautiful BCDA Lake, Rock Ridge Canyon, and all of that is here, right here. And I said, I told him, I said, I think it's a hit. My good friend Rick Hall, y'all seen the documentary? When Quinn Ivy came to him and told him, says, "Hey, I got this young kid, Percy Slaves, that has a recording, When a Man Loves a Woman, I'd like you to hear." He played it to Rick, and he said, "What do you think?" And what was Rick's response? It's a hit. And today it's a classic, isn't it? And that's where things start, with the beginning, with an idea. And Mayor Crouch had that idea, and we want to thank him for it. He had to go to an ACOG meeting and is not able to be with us today, but we appreciate Mayor Crouch and what he's meant to Hodges and what he's meant for this project. We have a beautiful day, and as I was driving in, I passed the sign down here by the park, and many of you may not know about the sign, but I'm going to tell you about it. I believe with all my heart the Lord is blessing Hodges, Alabama, for what Hodges has done. If you stop and read the sign going out, and I'm going to pass out one to each person here. It's entitled "The Spirit of Hodges." The town of Hodges held a war bond auction in the month of January 1943. The proceeds amounted to $47,000. As an award, the War Department allowed Hodges to name a P-51 Mustang fighter aircraft. She was named the Spirit of Hodges. The plane was built by the North American Aviation Company and was modified in Birmingham, Alabama. The P-51 was a long-range, single-seated aircraft. It flew most of its wartime missions as a bomber escort in raids over Germany and was used against the Japanese in the Pacific. Then it goes on and says that we're not sure about what happened to it, and I've told Craig, I've told Congressman Aderholt, we need to, and last time I talked to him, I said, "Robert, have you found out anything about the maybe you can prod them and see if they've uncovered any information about what did happen to the aircraft." But think about this. We were asking U.S. soldiers, U.S. Army Air Corps, to get in an airplane, B-17, with no fighter escort, and fly from England into Germany and drop bombs. One day, before the long-range fighters, one day, there were in one squadron, 12 planes went out, 12 B-17s, and one came back. It was horrible. And those guys just kept on doing it. And then when the P-51 Mustang came along, it changed the world completely as far as the war effort. Then the bombers, when they took off, they had fighter escort all the way. It was the P-51 Mustang, and the spirit of Hodges was right there. So I'm saying that the Lord is blessing Hodges today for what Hodges did to save the free world in 1943. And I think the Lord has his hand on this project. I don't think there's any question about it. Senator Bedford could not be here, but certainly he's been a staunch supporter, like Mayor Crouch, since the beginning. This is truly an incredible site for an equestrian trail. We have private landowners. We have who are willing to share their property with others. We have Bear Creek Development property. We have an abandoned railroad. And what we really wanted to do today, Tina and I and Mike, we just wanted to get everybody together and share this good news with the public. We don't want this to be the best kept secret in Alabama. We want it to be broadcast to everyone. So this is why you were invited here, and we thank you for coming. I'm going to recognize some people that have made this trail possible. I want to recognize, first of all, the private landowners. Without them, it would not have been possible. We hear people who gave their property, their privately owned property, because they believed in this project. And they gave easements that we're going to be using. And this is including the Rock Bridge Canyon owners and the other landowners. I want to also thank the Hodges City Council for believing in this project. Thank you for believing in the equestrian trail. And in my opinion, I want to say to the to the Hodges City Council, you are truly making history. I want to thank Cassie and the the Franklin County Chamber of Commerce. I especially want to thank Tammy and Alabama Mountain Lakes for your leadership and what you've done as far as providing technical assistance to us. And we look forward to working with both of you in the years to come on this project. I want to thank all of the media representatives that are here today for coming. This is truly a public-private partnership. And what I'd like to do now is turn it over to the guys that are making all this happen, Tina and Mike. And y'all come up here and just tell us all about the equestrian trail.
Now, Mike, before you do that, you know, every project, every endeavor in life, every dream, every hope that you ever have needs a hero. Needs somebody who believes in you, somebody who believes in what you're doing, and someone who actually cares. And in this day and time, it's a rarity to find someone who can get behind you. And, you know, our state representative, he's always answered my calls. Sometimes they've been late at night. You know, a lot of times you get frustrated, you don't know what to do. I call Johnny Mack and he'd say, okay, Mike, I'll tell you what we need to do. And I'd hang up the phone and I'd go, that is wonderful. Someone who's working so hard for this state and Northwest Alabama and trying their best to improve and provide for generations to come. And I could go on and on. But, you know, we just can't thank him enough. And on behalf of Rock Bridge Canyon Equestrian Park, the Town Council, Mayor Crouch, and Tina and I, we present you with this dedication and this appreciation award.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it very much. Okay, all right. I'll put it right here. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay. We appreciate all that you do.
Thank you.
And we have one for Senator Bedford too, but he had prior engagements and he couldn't meet with us, and so we will get his to him very soon. Tina and I are going to double team a little bit because she knows things that I don't know, and I know things she don't know. And we're going to try to answer any questions. We're going to try to give you the information that we hopefully will help explain how we came into being. As Johnny Mack said a while ago, all that study and all that was done before I came on board. And I've told this story before, but it's something that's pretty funny. During this study that was going on, I was riding my horse with my son-in-law, and it was in the wintertime. I remember that. It was kind of cold. I had on my duster, and we were been out for a long ride before there was any trails over here. We was riding through the woods, and we were almost back at my barn. And this guy pulls up that I've never seen before in a black Mercedes kind of looking car to me. I don't know, it might have been an Audi, I'm not sure. And he pulls up and we're riding along there, and I got my cowboy hat on, I got my duster on, and I'm bundled up. And I'm on my horse, and my son-in-law's on his horse. And he pulls up, stops, gets out, and he's got on this, he looks like he's from Washington, D.C. He's got on, you know, this long black coat. And I am a police officer, so I, you know, kind of know what that looks like. And he gets out, and I stop the horse, and I'm looking at him, and he says, "Can I ask you guys a few questions?" And I said, "Depends." I said, "Are you from the IRS?" And he said, "No." I said, "Okay then, whatever you want to know." And he said, "You ride horses?" And I said, "No, man. Me and this guy was hanging on a limb down there, and these things just run in under us, and we, you know." And he kind of laughed, and he said, "No," he said, "I'm doing a study for Hodges. They're thinking about opening in the Equestrian trail." And I thought, man, that's great. That's awesome, you know. So we talked to him about riding horses for a while. But his name was Bean Farmer. He was one that was hard to help with this study. That's where I first heard about this. And as time went on, Mayor Crouch approached me and asked me to help out with this project. I started out volunteering on this project. Recruited Tina to volunteer on this project. We both began volunteering. I knew that I felt like that I could handle a lot of the trail building itself, but I needed someone who could handle, you know, getting us known, helping us get money, and the office work, and the leg work a lot of times. And so Tina came into the picture, volunteered too. Every one of our guys that started this project started out, except for one, started out volunteering. And so this project actually started out on a volunteer basis. And then the town of Hodges, you know, there come a time when I went to the mayor and I said, "Look here, Mayor," I said, "you know, volunteer is one thing, but 60 and 80 hours a week, that's a little bit much, you know, and I'm going to have to cut back or get a divorce or move into the barn or something." And he said, "Well," he said, "let me just hire you." And he talked to the council and they hired me. And then after I got hired, she was driving the NACOG bus. And she come by my office one morning and spoke to me, and I said, "You like driving that bus?" And she said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, listen, don't you think you'd like to be on the ground floor of a project, you know?" And so I suckered her into it. So what we have now, through the help of everybody, this has not been a Tina project or a Mike project or a mayor project or a city council project. This has been a community at large project at its best. And I can't say enough good things about the community. And we have 27 miles of riding trails with more to come. We are working towards a goal of 55 miles of horse trails upon completion. That is a goal. We have a lot of studies that has to be done and a lot of groundwork that has to be covered. But we are working towards that. We have 52 covered stalls. Our stalls are built 12 by 12 stalls, and they are, in my opinion, they're the best stalls that any horse camp anywhere in the state of Alabama has, and I've been to them all. Our campsites are designed uniquely for horse riders because you have most horse camp, their campsites are in big open fields. I know because I was a trail rider. We designed our campsite so you have trees in between each campsite, so you have privacy. We also have 2 campsites. We have one here at the trailhead, and we have one in Rock Bridge Canyon for an inclusive campsite. We also have walking trails in Rock Bridge Canyon that goes by many. That actually, we followed the same route and the same trails that was up when it was opened in the 1950s. And Tina has researched the history of Rock Bridge Canyon, and as she was doing this, she found a picture. When was that? Your mom was in high school?
She was 16 and she's 66 now. And she was on the postcards. Miss Avery had a photographer come down in the canyon. And my mom is on this post, so it's kind of like I've come full circle. You know, I played in that canyon as a little girl, and then I brought my children down there and played, and now I take my grandchildren. So it's like it's more than a job for me. It's more of a passion, you know, because it's history, and I've lived here my whole life. So
we were down there looking before we were building, and there's an old souvenir shop down there, and we were looking around it, and there was a bag of things there, and we were on our hands and knees going through this stuff, and Tina pulls that out and says, "That's my mom."
yeah, I have it in there.
And that was, and we've been able to find that there've been a lot of people who grew up that has pictures and things in there. So the archives of Rock Bridge Canyon runs very deep in this community. We also, on our trails, we've been told by people who have come and ridden our trails, by our campers. We have been told that we have some of the most beautiful scenery and trails that they've ever ridden. And this speaks well for some of them because some of them does nothing but trail riding. We've had people as far away as Minnesota come and camp with us. We've had people from, help me Tina, we've had Georgia, Florida, Arkansas, Indiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, and of course Minnesota, and
of course Alabama.
Alabama.
Yeah, down south. A lot of people in South Alabama.
Yeah, Montgomery. Tina put on it. She does all the events. She plans the event, stages the event. Put on an event last February, and she called it the Feel the Freeze Ride. And it was. I went out of the house that morning, looked at the thermometer, and it was 22 degrees. And I came up here, and we didn't have this, we didn't have none of this. And we was at the community center, and I walked in, and I'm the worrier. And I worry, you know, this is not going to work. Tina is the optimist, you know, she tells me, said, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. I said, no, Tina, there's nobody going to come. It's 22 degrees outside. I said, nobody's going to come. And she pulled it off. We had 65 riders that day. And, you know, I was amazed. Every event that we've had, the first event we had, when we only had 15 miles of trails, we had 207 riders.
It was 104.
No.
Hot. It was 104.
Yeah, the temperature was 104 degrees. So we know what we can do at the...
From one extreme to the other.
Yeah. And then, what other, oh, our rodeos. We've had 2 rodeo events where we had to buy everything. We had to rent everything, the arena and all that stuff. And the first rodeo, we had over 2,500 people per night, or both nights.
did.
Both nights come. Last year we had 1,700 and something, both nights together. And the only reason we didn't do better on that one, we didn't have as much. We only had bull riding last year. But this year, with good Lord's help and all of our friends, and we are going to have an arena up that we own. The town has already purchased an arena, the gates for the arena, the panels for the arena, the holding pins, the bucking chutes, they've already purchased and it's already here. We just haven't got it put up. And so it's 120 feet wide and 200 feet long. So we'll be able to have all the events, from the calf roping to the bulldogging to the barrel racing to the bull riding to horse shows to, you know, the kids chasing the goats and all that stuff. We also going to use our arena for entertainment. We want to have concerts and entertainment in our arena.
What will be the seating capacity?
We're still negotiating on our bleachers. We're looking at aluminum bleachers that will hold 200 to 400 people, depending on what monies I can get and what, you know. I have to go out and really, some of this lumber that we built this stuff out of, I got from as far away as Ohio, and I would go out and stay on the phone all night long and getting the lumber that we needed, good lumber, as cheap as I could. And then I called my truck driving buddies that I've met down through the years. I have no favors left in this state.
He does, and he uses them all.
But we hope to see 200 to 400 people, depending on, and everybody bring their lunches and other things that a lot of people do. We have bathhouses in both campsites. We have, as you come into the park, we have the pavilion where we already have weddings and entertainment. We have the 2 bathrooms there. That's very nice. As you go into the campsites, we have 24 campsites. We have sewer on 8 of them, and we have power and water on all of them, except the last 6 has just got water. They're primitive. We have a bathhouse out there with the showers and the commodes, and they're very nice. The covered stalls, as you park, we designed this a little different. It's a circle drive. You don't have to back your camper anywhere. You can pull through and you can park and do your hookup. When you unload your horses, the nice thing is, right across the street there of your campsite is your stalls. So you pull in, you get out, you get your horses out, walk across the street, put them in the stalls. And it won't be like I am. Me and my wife used to go camping like this. She'd say, "Wonder how the horses are." That meant get the flashlight, walk to the barn, check on the horses. And now the campers can sit around the fire out here and somebody goes, "How are the horses?" And they go, "They're fine." You know, people like to be close to their horses. And they like, we have for every stall, we have a water spigot with a 50-foot water hose for every 4 stalls. So they can water their horses and wash their horses. Services we provide after a campsite. When you pull out of your campsite, we go in, take your stalls down back to the original gravel. We disinfect the complete stalls, even the lumber, and then we put the fresh bedding back in that stall. Just like a motel room, we keep it nice and clean and disinfected. And then we also provide muck buckets, and that's so the campers can go in and muck their stables, and they put it in a bucket, set outside. Once in the morning, once in the evening, we come through and we go empty the muck buckets for them and put them back for them. When a camper pulls in, we have places where they can clean out their horse trailer, put it in muck buckets, and we come by and get it and empty that for them. We also provide a shuttle service. Should they want to go to any part of the trail and start their ride, we will pick them up and their horses, take them to that part of the trail, let them out, and they ride back to camp. If they want to be picked up, they call up here at the camp store, and we go pick them up. Any part of the trail that they want picked up on. And we also provide for the campers the firewood. We have firewood, we have the ice, we have the beanie weenies, and we have, and a lot of times we try to do things special. Like Thanksgiving for the riders, I took them roast smoked turkey, and it's a home away from home is what we want to be.
We let them watch the game.
We have the TV.
That's a big thing.
That you get a lot of calls say, you know, I want to watch the game this weekend. You got a TV? Yes, sir. We got couches, TVs, popcorn, anything you want. And we enjoy it too. I mean, they come up here and they really get to know us, and we get to know them. We have a great time with them. Dogs, you are welcome at our campsite. We don't have any restrictions on the dog except you can't bring it in here. But
Unless you were Archie.
Right.
Archie was special.
Archie was special.
We really don't care for you bringing it in here. It's just that the health department cares for you.
No, that's it.
But that is something that's really nice because your dogs, a lot of them are their family, and they bring them. And all we ask, and they can go on the trail with you. They can go to the walking trail with you. They can go to the horse trail with you. All we ask is that you have them where you can control them, and that is the biggest thing. We have a dump station for the motorhomes. All of our campsites are motorhome acceptable. They're large enough and designed enough, large enough for any motorhome, even in the canyon. We've had motorhomes with horse trailers hooked behind them, and they've had no trouble getting in and out of our park. Anything else I can think of?
There's a lot of it. There's a lot to cover.
There is a lot to cover. And Tina wrote me notes, and I don't know if I went by any of them.
Do you have Wi-Fi?
We do have Wi-Fi.
I'm seeing that you've got some.
We have
That's
Wi-Fi. We are looking at trying to, we just found out, matter of fact, this morning might be some help in that, but we were looking to try to help the phone reception in this area. And we also, the good thing is too, if you don't want phone reception, you can do what I used to do before we had this building. We had all of our staff meetings inside Rock Ridge Canyon because there's no phone gets out in there.
You can disconnect. This canyon says.
You can
If you want to
disconnect.
disconnect, go down in the canyon. And you say, well, I didn't know he served.
But a lot of our trail you do have service on. A lot of it you do, but they are canyons and caverns where you don't have service.
Mike, can I make one more point? First of all, I want to say, I apologize, Craig, you're just like family. I don't even think about you being special. We have a very special guest here that I didn't even recognize. Craig Kennedy, Congressman Aderholt's office. I apologize for overlooking you.
Yeah, I'm sorry too, Greg.
I mean, it's just like he's supposed to be with
Well,
you.
I knew him all his life too, but I'm sorry.
But one thing that I failed to do that I wanted, Tammy, would you please come up and give us an assessment on what you feel like is the future of these equestrian trails and the potential part of this? Tammy Reese with Alabama Mountain Lakes.
Well, first of all, I want to thank Johnny Mack and the mayor for this wonderful facility. I got to meet Tina and Mike. They came to my office when we had our TVA new board member in and was working on some issues that they had. And the passion that they have is amazing. And we've been fortunate to help them with some of their marketing. We have a 30-second commercial that we're going to be getting out to state tourism to hopefully get that running so that people around the world can see this wonderful gym that you have. And I made the comment to Mike as I was coming in, we get so busy with our cell phones, and sometimes it's a good way to disconnect and to get away. And I know that's something that I think this has to offer. You can kind of go on a detox and be able to enjoy the great outdoors, which a lot of times we're not finding as much. But I just want to say, I think this place is amazing. It kind of reminds me of a little of Cades Cove. You've got so much out there to see, to do, and we're just very proud that you're part of our North Alabama region, part of the state of Alabama. And if there's anything that we can do to help y'all, just to call on us. So
You have, Tammy.
Yes.
We appreciate everything you've done.
Alabama Mountain Lakes is truly the experts in tourism in Alabama. When you go to, and I served as chairman of the House Standing Committee on Tourism for 14 years, and if you go to statewide events, they're the paradigm. They're the ones that everybody looks to as being the experts, and we're so fortunate to have you and Alabama Mountain Lakes in our region.
But it is great. I mean, when you see somebody that's got an attraction, and this is what it is an attraction. We're bringing people together to see what is in this area. And one of the things that, I thought about was you've got Cassie, who does a wonderful job marketing
Absolutely.
Franklin County. You're talking about the RVs, we've got Tiffany Motors that's right in our backyard, and what an opportunity for some of these people to get in their RVs once they've been worked on and come down here and experience great outdoors. So we've got to learn how to connect those areas. But the one thing I have to say about this project, and I've heard it throughout, and I think about a quote from Helen Keller, it's alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. And that's what everybody has done to get to this point. And so I just want to thank y'all and commend y'all for your work, and don't stop. Keep it going.
The potential for equestrian trails, how do you see that as being in the future?
Oh, I think it is the way of the future. I think you're starting to see a lot more people that are getting out. And when you can create the venue which you have, that's the part. Me and Mike were talking about the Back Horsemen, which they've just got them going to be a part of this organization. And that is huge. The Back Horsemen have chapters everywhere. And I was working with them out in Bankhead, and they are such good stewards that they want to help. They want to give back. And when you can get some groups like that that are passionate, they want to come here and they want to ride, they're going to tell their friends, and then they're going to help pay back to the environment, you can't beat that. And to know that that is right here in this area is amazing.
And you see families participate.
Yeah.
That's what's so wonderful. It's the future. There's no question about it.
Jeff, you have anything you want?
I'd like to.
Yeah, I'd like to.
I have a few more notes here, but it's my pleasure to be able to say something, because I feel like this is the next big thing for Franklin County, for the state of Alabama. And I've taught with Mike and Tina several different times, and I've learned with them, I'm going to institute these 5 steps in the things that I do to have a vision. And they definitely have a vision, and they have a plan A and a plan B. They have a backup just in case. And they have people who are willing to work, that are going to work hard, and sometimes those folks will gladly work for free. And money, of course we know you have to have money, and drive and determination, and I do believe they have ample sources of that somewhere. But without all of that, this would not be possible. And I just want to commend them, because I know there's been long days, long nights, a little sleep, a lot of stress, and all of this, they're great examples to remain focused and steadfast. And I think they've all worked together as a group, not just Mike and Tina, but the whole bunch have worked together for that. To prove how their hard work's paid off, the groundbreaking was September the 21st of last year, and I'm going to tell you, my 11-year-old said it best. She came with me in October, and she just said, wow. And that sums it up for me. But from green grass and groundbreaking to a camp store, trails, bathhouse, stalls, a pavilion, in 12 months, that's amazing to me. So in all this hard work, they saw their vision, their plan, the money, the people, the drive, the determination, it all came together. And Mike and Tina were kind and came to our open house last Friday, and I got to talk with both of them. But Mike said something that struck a chord, something so selfless and so profound, is he said, this park is for Hodges. It's in Hodges. But it's for Hodges, but it's also for Franklin County. And so when you see people like this who are passionate and tenacious, you'll see progress. And this is what this is progress. So on behalf of the chamber, I would like to say congratulations. I applaud you, standing ovation from all of us for the work you've done. Yes, it is. So I look forward to seeing what you have in store, not just for Hodges, but for Franklin County, because this affects everybody. So thank y'all so much. Y'all are like the dynamic duo here. I'll let y'all argue about who's Batman and who's Robin. Amazing.
That's funny, because I texted him the other morning and said, see you at the back cave.
Cassie, of course, economic development is what the chamber is about,
Yes.
whether it's tourism or whatever, but it's my understanding that as a result of this equestrian trail, Dollar General is even looking at Hodges
Yes, sir.
as a possible location. So we're now getting a hit from a retailer that's looking at Hodges as possible. Is this true?
It is, and John, about that, if I may say that, we and Mike went from going into meetings and places to do presentations and stuff, and people going, Hodges, what is Hodges? And now when we go, it's like Hodges is here. So we've changed the people's views and minds of, I've lived here my entire life, I've
Tell them about the time you went and they were waiting at your table.
Oh yeah, we were in January last year. We were at the Alabama Horse Fair in Montgomery, and me and Mike set up our booths, and I had my burlap on my table and all my little boards and stuff, and so we were the newcomers, we were the new kids on the block, and so we had our little candy sitting everywhere, So we came in the next morning, and there was this line of people down through the hallway on this arena. It's in the Garrett Coliseum in Montgomery, and Mike was, I wonder what everybody's doing. And we got told, I said,
They said, we got to get to our booth
yeah.
somewhere.
And I said, they're in our booth. They're in our booth. And they were just like, just surrounding me in our chair. And I'm like, hey, I'm Tina. And we did not eat. We stood on our feet all day long. And we didn't even eat because we were just swarming this, with, come in. With, just wanting to know information about us, But anyway, that was in January. Okay, and then we had the Field of Freeze ride in February. And that's so many of those people from that area in below Montgomery come from that. It's just getting the word out there. Just let them know we're here. And they were so excited. They were actually coming up to us thanking us for building a horse trail. And I'm like, well, you're welcome. Come. But that's just how I did not realize, and I'm very honored to be a part of this. I'm the activities director here, and I did the event, like Mike said, and the planning and advertising stuff, and I'm so excited to just tell people about my hometown and what we've done here, and and share it with everybody, because it's just a wonderful piece of God's work that we need to.
In the spring, we had a very special ride. We had Congressman Idaho's Representative Craig was there, and we had also representatives from Senator Shelby and Senator Sessions' office, and we had, what month was that?
It's November last year.
Oh, it's over?
It was.
So it was a year
Yeah, it
ago.
was in the fall.
Yeah.
It was in the fall.
Okay, it was a year. All right, but we plan to maybe redo that this spring.
Yeah.
This spring, and
Get back on those horses.
and get Craig back over here. Craig actually rode the trail. Craig, would you like to give them your some posts from you as far as
I didn't know what to expect, but it was such a fun time, and it was a little more dangerous than I thought, but I liked it. But I had not been back up here since then, and to drive in and see this, and I don't know if y'all know it, but Cap and Ada West were my great-grandparents. And I know that they would be so pleased that when you drive in, I came down to see, I saw the road, so I went on down to that entrance, and I know that they would be so excited, and I want to bring my grandmother up here and show her that this is, one of the entrances to this. That, it would just, they're smiling down right
They
now.
were workers in the community also, I understand.
They
Big
were.
part of
Well,
the
my
community.
great-grandfather was mayor, so
So they would appreciate this too.
they would.
Yeah.
It would be very special to
You're right, I hadn't thought about that, Greg.
You had some comments from the representative from Senator Sessions in Senator Shelby's office this morning when they found out you were
I
coming.
did. We had lunch yesterday. LaFrida's retiring, and so I told him I was coming. And Lisa from Senator Sessions said to make sure if I saw Rosebud, the horse that sat Rosebud, just to give him a hug for her.
Rosebud saved her life.
That's what she says. He saved my life. And LaFrida said that even though she's not with the senator's office for much longer, she'd love to come back down and
welcome.
Not ride, but walk the ride.
Well, maybe this spring you can help us put together another ride.
I'd love to. I'd love to.
That-
And
Go ahead.
the new girl for Senator Shelby, Cassie, she's excited about it. I told her we'd get her down here, so she wants
We
to.
break her in.
Yes.
I want to recognize Curtis Swinney. He's one of the landowners who.
Absolutely.
Easement going through his land.
Curtis, one of the people, the groups that I thanked, y'all were at the top of the list.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
I'd like to say something about the ride and everything. Where it all goes, we have the meal branch where all the people used to take their grain to get it ground. It's right between the Rock Ridge Canyon on the branch, and also on top of the hill across from Rock Ridge Canyon was the old post office. And it ain't very far from the old schoolhouse, back up in the woods there where the first schoolhouse come to Hodges. And also I'd like to say that my wife's granddaddy, Billy Wilson, entered this land close to where everything's at, and we got the deed where Roosevelt signed it. And the Baggett place, it goes close to that. There's a lot of people got entered deeds where this trail goes. And also, I'd like to say my wife's granddaddy was one of the first ones. Billy Wilson had a little money when he come here, and they just had the one boy, his name was Ollie. And they bought him one of the best buggies you could buy. And it was just like a big Cadillac at that time, you know. And we've got a picture of it. I'm gonna eventually get it up. And there was a lot of people here that come. One of them was a Frenchman, and he entered here back down the road, not very far. And anyway, he was a heavyset man, and he always made a little line, and he'd come to town and back. And so one day, somewhere or another, the law kind of got after him. Anyway, they tell about him going home so fast, the buggy like turned over his head again. But there's a lot of tales that can be told about Hodges. And Hodges, it just amazes me. I come here about 50 years ago, and they were some mighty good people. But let me tell you something. They are strange when it comes to coming to Hodges. You better be a pretty good citizen, don't you have to leave. I come from Liberty Hill over there, and you don't work.
Absolutely.
They looked me over close for a long time.
They screamed you, didn't they? Some of you younger folks may not know what he's referring to when he said entered. What you're referring to is the fact that they homesteaded that.
Right, they come here and entered the land.
Yeah, meaning
Oh, man,
they
they really-
homesteaded it, and they were the first owners.
Yeah, the first owner comes from the government.
Right. Deed is transferred from the United States of America to them.
Hodges has got lots of history, and if it ever run back, I mean, it'd be a book that it'd be something.
At the grand opening, I remember I said, I want to see one day the little town of Hodges down here is a very picturesque little town, and it's almost like an old western town. I said, I've gone through old western towns and seen those simulated gunfights, you know, where they're shooting and people are tumbling off of buildings. And I was telling that at an event once, and this old gentleman said, I've seen gunfights in Hodges. No, not real ones. But does anybody from the media have any questions? Welcome late.
Thank you. We had a morning show this morning as soon as I could get here. I'm Drew Manley with Super 8 TV in Hamilton. And,
Wonderful.
Thank you for
yeah,
coming.
and
Thank
I
you
tried
so
to get my partner up here, but we had another visitor come in and I just had to depart and come.
Well, we'll be glad to stay and answer any questions. Or if any of y'all have any questions, we'd like to respond to those at this time.
I'd like to say another thing about John Mack and Roger. Now, I was on the industrial board for years and served 911. Let me tell you something. When we needed help, we know where to go, and we never was turned down. I have to say credit to them.
Thank you.
I agree. Yep.
Thanks. Any questions from the media? So what's planned now?
Well, the plan is, whoever is brave enough will.
Hey, by the way, let's do the video.
Yeah, let's do it.
Everybody, can we play it?
Okay.
Everybody come in and look at what Alabama Mountain Lakes has done for the equestrian club.
And I have copies of it for
Equestrian Park is the horse park for you. Miles of picturesque trails winding through acres of woodlands, canyons, waterfalls, and 185 feet above the canyon. Full hookup campsites, bathhouses, and stalls are available. Find your ride of a lifetime at Rock Ridge Canyon Equestrian Park.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I have met so many wonderful people through this project, and Miss Cassie and Tammy are one. They're just become my good friends, and they have helped me so much. I mean, I've just been blessed tremendously with everybody. You know,
And let's remember somebody too. They're not that they're gone by any means, but they're retired. Dana Lee was the first person that came down here. She was a individual that was in Tammy's job before Tammy. She retired and is enjoying her retirement. I understand very, very much. And you tell her, give her our very best. But I remember when I asked Dana Lee to come down, I said, I've got this project I want you to look at. She didn't hesitate. She came and we met with Ed and the mayor and everyone, and Dana Lee that day said, hey, this is it. This is
I need to
So-
bring her here.
yeah, please do. Tell her we send our best to her and thanks for what she did.
Mike, are there horses here that people can rent? Do you have guided tours for a family? It might be novice horsemen.
They can go ahead and contact us. A lot of times we set them up with horses and people who has horses to, you know, if they're interested in doing that. We have trails here inside this 160-acre park that's right here for novice riders or beginners. And if they contact us, Tina and I do our best. We always have, right? We get you.
Great horses.
And how do you market or present yourselves to prospective tourists who aren't horse riders, who aren't interested in equestrian, to, you know, as far as all the other things and the enjoyment you can get from walking and visiting the canyon on a day trip without a horse?
Well, that's where the Rock Bridge Canyon comes in at. We have, which it does have a rock bridge. I get that,
Right.
you know, when I get them down there, they're like, oh wow, you do have a rock bridge. I said, yeah, you can walk under it and over it. And
It's
over it.
equivalent to the natural bridge.
Yes,
That's
sir,
the natural
it
bridge.
is.
It really is.
And we have group rates for groups, church groups, you know, different groups. We had a Creatures in the Canyon in October, which was a haunted trail down in there, which went really, really well. We're going to have that again this year. I have all my events, which I'm going to give everybody copies of for 2014. And that is in the lineup again in October. And, but yeah, to answer your question, it's just a place where you can take a picnic, bring your family, spend the day, spend half a day, cover how much you want to cover, you know, for a small fee. We do $10 per person or $15 a family.
That includes grandparents.
And, yeah, and your family can be, you know, grandma, grandpa, grandkids.
Tina, I'd like to, if y'all don't mind, I'd like to interject here. I've been coming to Rock Ridge Canyon for many years. This is so much, I don't want to say it on film, because I'm sure somebody's getting it. This is so much better than Natural Bridge. And Natural Bridge, you've got Natural Bridge, it's a beautiful place. In Rock Bridge Canyon, you have so many unique things compacted in one canyon area. It is amazing, and I don't want to forget Ms. Mary Avery at this time either. She loved this place so much.
She did.
Absolutely.
She
Yeah.
did. She was, and you know, when I'm in the canyon, I'm thinking about things. Did I think of Mr. and Mrs. Jasper Mary Avery, which started that, you know? And I was telling Mike one day, you know, back in the day, in the 50s, when they started, when they was, you know, creating the walkways and all that, you know, people was out here just, you know, picking their cotton and trying to get by, you know, and they had a vision. You know, Mr. Avery, they had that vision that was kind of probably rare back then.
Exactly.
You know, I think about that, you know, so I'm always got them in my mind when I think about doing things like that, you know.
We were camping down there one night. She allowed us to go in there as a church group and camp, and we were singing, and she could hear that coming out of the canyon. She was probably 83, and she walked over that canyon and down in there and joined us at night, way in the middle of the night. She was amazing.
Yeah, she was. She was a different, special lady. She really
Absolutely.
was.
Tina, you in charge of the events. Tell them about entertainment and some of the groups that.
Well, I'm gonna have my entertainment at different. I'm having in March I'm having a daylight. I've named it Daylight Savings Times Ride because I thought, who's named Daylight Savings Times Ride? You know, so one of them is in April. There's a spring kickoff ride, and then in May there is mountain laurel that blooms down in the canyon, and it only blooms a small amount of time. Beautiful. It's on the rocks. It's in the video. There's a picture of it. And I'm gonna have a Mount Laurel ride in May, and then in July I'm gonna have a Stars and Stripes trail ride. And some of these I'm gonna have entertainment, and I'm gonna have some bluegrass music, country, something for everyone, you know. Then I'm gonna have an annual Spirit of Hodges ride in September, and then of course our Creatures of Canyon in October, and then in December of next year I'm gonna have Christmas in the Canyon, and I'll have Santa. You know, you can go down and have your picture made of Santa, sit on his lap, tell him what you want. So that's just some of our events we have, and we're in benefits. If you want to have your benefits here, you just call us and we'll try to work that in our schedule.
I think that's something that we need to say too. Since we have been here and while we've been in the building process, we have been able to reach out and help people who has needed help. We've had 2 benefits here. The first benefit we had was for a lady that's in our saddle club. She's got a brain tumor, and she was really bad. And on that day, they were able to raise, how much was it?
It was over $9,000.
Almost $10,000.
Yeah.
Almost $10,000 we did here at the park. All proceeds went to her family and her to help take care of her. We just recently got through having a benefit for a guy that had a 4-wheeler accident, and he had to go through long therapy, and we've been able to help them. And how much did we raise?
Do you remember what that was?
7,000. So we are not only a money-making thing, we are community orientated, and we have even got it in our bylaws that benefits as part of our package. We have an equestrian board. Anybody that needs help, you come fill out the form, we put it before the board, and the board tells us, picks a benefit, and we do our best to make it a success.
Let me ask y'all this now. We've described, they have the, what's here. Let me ask the representatives of the media, what would you like for us to carry to see that we could? Wouldn't that be the next step?
Yes, I'm.
Is there anything that we've described or any of these areas that we can drive to that y'all would like to visit? Leave that up to y'all, because we want to show y'all
I can
what
take
you
you down
want
to
to
the
see.
canyon.
Yeah, I've never been on the canyon. I'd like to go on
Yeah,
there.
I can take you. I have staffs. I have sticks that we can help us get through there.
Okay.
Is there anybody that hasn't been in there? Oh my.
You don't have, I'll put it this way, if you don't want to walk, we'll just take you and drive you through it and bring you back. If you'd like to do that, you can see what you can see from the vehicles.
I think especially you want to see the campsites and the
Yeah,
stalls
drive
down through there.
We're gonna do the food.
Yeah, everybody's welcome to eat. I have drinks.
And I would like for each one of y'all, I gave you this picture of the historic plaque about the Spirit of Hodges. It's located out here in the park. Go by and look at that, and remember this, the town of Hodges. This is a very, very special thing. $48,000 raised in 1943 by the people of Hodges, Alabama. Now that tells you that those people were made of the right kind of stuff, as we say. When the government asked them to contribute to the war effort, did they contribute? You better believe. From their 5-acre cotton patches and their small cornfields, money was tough in 43, but they gave $48,000. And I truly believe the Lord is blessing the town of Hodges right now with this project because of what these people did in 1943. I really believe that. Anything else anybody has to say? Thank y'all all for coming, and they're going to be the tour guide. I'm going up to the NACOG meeting, and
Well, we may have. I was in Hamilton, and this is out of Expo.
I'm gonna be in the newspaper.
You're on the road.
she and I almost went out one time dating. She reminded me of that once. So you're
So
out there.
this case-
I said, Johnny, sure did hate that.
That's fine.
I need to get a switch.
Water, service company water.
Person coming in.
Oh, glad you could come.
And I know Lisa would.
Yeah.
We talked about it for 20 minutes ago. We did. That was so much fun.
You got his contact.
Here's my card.
So.
Hang on just a
The first time I rented this, this is, here up here and then the two down there or whatever. And I have had to get it for something. We just kind of worked out a deal, where I call him, I said, just use it that weekend, or see if he can for you. So I take care of all the paperwork. Oh, down at the county, tree and everything, it's just anywhere. Well, it's Mystic Falls is one of the waterfalls. I'm going to show you how it kind of runs into you. Come down here and it's like another place. The fall, it's like another place. And, and
It's like, it's just a church in the back, the whole back side of it. The whole back. Fiber Fall. I've read it online. Your energy system.
The opera song.
Yeah. Jason did my barbecue last weekend for my dinner, my benefit, and I chopped them up very They do. I do not. And I have had some people do.
Yeah, I walked around while I was waiting on y'all. I've already been down the falls and under the up and back in.
I just got here. I've been down here to have different things made, like different pictures made.
Oh, yeah, senior portraits, people love coming here and seeing the
Oh,
portraits.
man.
Uh-huh.
You're welcome.
So
Nice
much.
meeting y'all.
Nice to meet y'all.
Yes, ma'am, y'all too.